Belize's forests are some of the most important forests in the world. They provide a home for many plants and animals and produce clean air for us to breathe. These plants and animals have been an important part of our everyday lives and culture for thousands of years. Over 70% of the Toledo district is covered with forests. This means that most of us who live here in Toledo live very close to it, but we have lost more than 16% of our forests in the last 30 years. We Belizeans are not separate from these forests. We are a part of them. We need them for our food, for our clean water, to build our homes, and even for our medicine. We need them for a healthy and happy life. The many different ways that we use and rely on the forest are made possible by the many different plants and animals that are found within the forest. This is known as biodiversity. Having many different plants and animals in the forest, in the savanna, and in the rivers is a good thing. We need biodiversity. For forests to grow and be healthy, they need as many different types of plants and animals in them as possible, because each different plant or animal has to play its role. When all of these different living things working together, we call their work an ecosystem. A forest is an ecosystem. A savanna is an ecosystem. A river is an ecosystem. But in every ecosystem, all of the plants and animals are linked together. They all depend on each other in some way. This is fragile, and if one type of plant or animal is removed, it can affect the whole ecosystem. You can imagine an ecosystem like an engine. They are both made of many parts working together. If one tiny part is not working properly, it might result in the whole thing not working. Think about how many different plants and animals that you have seen in the forest near your home, and then imagine how complicated all of those links are. To make it easier to understand, we will just look at a very small part of our local forest ecosystem.
Nakausari li shakli mo coach res jibankil la kak emil kap iot mukukahkita lo akin ko nakak ni mo coach kowe li shula ki na kushe mas as tutsila mo coach iot natkakamsep li mo coach chinat li shul chikere chinah i kowe lo ahki shike chinah tisikbale kakim o kana khairu sil na ringat kakamsil mo coach chinat rena kwanka mo coach chinat iot li shula bahki kwanka bahki chinat tishkush bar rena kwanka chit chirahlal so mas usho ke na kwak ningena kut kakamsita mas li mo coach chinat.
Well, for us, when we cut leaves, we leave like 4 or 5 leaves on the tree. So that will be used for another 2 or 3 years. But if we cut it like every year, then there is not enough leaf for one tree. Maybe you could only get like 2 or 3 leaves on every tree, while you have to leave the rest.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
but if you cut everything, then I think it would take like maybe 3 years to get like 5 or 6 leaves.
Again.
Yeah,
right.
again. So that's the reason why they doesn't cut everything. Cohune not germinate from the ground. It grew very slowly. So I think it will take like maybe 15 years, I should say, or 10 years maybe, because they grow very slowly. And when it reaches the height like this, that's still not enough to bear fruit. So until it reaches to a height of maybe 10 feet above the ground, then at that time it have a lot of leaves, and then it start to bear flowers and then fruit.
All right.
Yeah.
As we explained earlier, humans are a part of the forest ecosystem because we use many of the different plants and animals in the forest. For example, cohune for touching our roofs and gibnut for our food. But we have to be careful that we do not break the links in the ecosystem. If we take too many of the cohune trees or too many of the gibnut out of the forest, what do you think would happen to these links in the ecosystem? The answer is that the links will be broken. Breaking the link between the cohune and the gibnut will affect many other plants and animals. By breaking these links, we will threaten the survival of the forest. With a fast-growing human population, some villages will double in size within the next 10 years. We will need more land, more cohune, and more gibnut. We are in danger of breaking some of these links within our forest ecosystem without even realizing it. Slash and burn milpa and cutting all the leaves from the cohune palm could result in less cohune close to the villages. Leaves will start to cost more as we have to travel farther to cut them. We are losing forests around villages as they are converted to farmland. As a result, there are less and less places for gibnuts to live and feed. When we combine this with too much hunting of gibnut, we are again finding that we have to travel farther and farther to find gibnut. Because of this, gibnut meat will start to cost more. So, think back to the link between cohune and gibnut. What will happen if either of these is removed? Cohune and gibnut are just a small part of the whole ecosystem. There are thousands of other links which we humans can affect. We have a responsibility and a need to protect these links. We have a responsibility to allow our children to use these same forests for their food, for their clean water, for building their homes, and for traditional use. We live close to the forest and we rely on it every day, even if we do not actually use it every day. If the forest does not survive, this will eventually threaten our own survival and that of our children. It is up to us to protect our forest.